Who's trying to steal you? You can't have you. TikTok has me right there. Hey, y'all. Hey. All right, listen. We're going to stay a little focused today. We're talking about. So we got Elvis. So we're fine. We can do whatever we want. I just want to set this up to be kind of cool. We got Timothy. Somebody's yelling at me. We've got Timothy today. Let me do this little guy. Hi. Okay. What are we going to do? Make sure that you look all right. Oh my God. So, by the way, my daughter, who's 9, she says, Mommy, whenever you do a YouTube now, you have to put the turtle somewhere and you'll have to find it. You don't know where the turtle is going to be. So, for anybody new, I'm going to put it somewhere. Maybe I'll put it right here. That's too obvious. Put it right here. Put it right here. So, like, for anybody new coming in, y'all can say, like, hey, I know where the turtle is and you don't. What are we doing today? Hey, y'all. Hey. Okay, ready? I'm going to pay attention to as many comments as I can, but I really am focused on this particular day. We are starting this, okay? This, and I will put this video on my course because this book right here, this is Be Your Own Hero workbook. There's been many incarnations of it because it's freaking awesome. And the turtle fell over. Did you notice? Hey, turtle, just calm down over there. We got puppets. Ready? All right. This guy is going to help us today. Here we go. So these are the workbooks, right? There's many different incarnations. We have a male version. We have a female version. It's all the same workbook. This is the one that I'm going to do. Is a coloring book because it's cool. This all started when I was on the road talking about trauma and recovery. I had just been on Oprah. I was on 48 Hours, Lifetime, Ricky Lake show. I did a lot of press. I was out in the world talking about trauma. Hey. And I had an epiphany. I was like, I was on stage sharing my book and documentary, and I was like, wait, you got to look at your big brain here. What's up with your brain and trauma? What are you wearing? What's happening? And I had this epiphany as I traveled, talking to all ages. These are little kids and seniors, everybody. You've all been through trauma. We've all had trauma, right? Sometimes you just witnessed it. Sometimes it's an octopus picking your nose. And it's like traumatic. Why? But you've got such a big brain. We can deal with it. And I had a vision, epiphany, and it works. That your trauma, whatever it is like getting pierced with a sword. Right? Right? I've got another one around here somewhere. I got swords all over the place. I even have a real sword. Where's my sword, y'all? There it is. Found it. I got this one too. I've got a real one in Greece, like an actual legit heavy. It's like 45 pounds. I got one in Greece. So your trauma is like getting pierced with a sword. And what does that mean? It means whatever. It means you can live like that for the rest of your life. What? Yeah, I mean, you could do it. You could, you're going to have health problems, right? What else would happen if you have this? You're like, I'm angry. I'm cranky. I'm going to leave my sword in, but I'm not going to be nice, right? You see that? So, but we can remove the sword. Ha. And that hurts. You got a wound. You got to heal the wound. Oh, ouchie. And then you heal the wound and then you have it. Ha. So like whatever you've been through can also turn into your sword, not to be used with vengeance. What does that mean? What does vengeance mean? It means like, don't get into like the whole, we're getting revenge on people. This is a matter of truly using your sword so that your sword becomes your paintbrush. It becomes your microphone, your pen. You use your artistic vision in the world after you've gotten over your baloney caca from this, right? And so I wrote this whole workbook going through the steps. This is the workbook, right? This is the coloring book version. It's the same book. This one is my favorite personally. This is my favorite one because the artist made it kind of look like me. I think like me. I was a little punk rock kid. That's me. Yeah. So there you go. This is a little bit further in. Today we're going to do like pages 1 through 7. And you can get them on my website. You can get, a lot of people already have these, or you can just really listen and just be like, actually, this is really valuable to me. Because here's a cut forward, by the way. When you are pierced with the sword, when you have been traumatized and you're not healing it and you're not addressing it, it's going to lead to negative thought patterns about yourself on repeat. Yeah, but we're going to address that. We're going to start step 1, page 1. This is the coloring book version. This is the cute little cutie pie version. There's also a male version. There's also, like, you can get everything at angelashelton.com. Look, right here. We're going to remove the sword. Not yet. We're going to start page 1. Page 1. Should we do the coloring book version? Let's do it. This is the coloring book. I like it. You can even color on the cover. And what I started doing at my retreats, my play retreats, is we do the workbook as if you're 8 or whatever, pick your age. You don't have to do that. It's just a fun little exercise, especially if you know me and you've done this before. Is like, oh, right. Like, what would the 8-year-old do? So page 1, you ready? Page 1, Angela Shelton's Sword of Trauma workbook. What the heck? Ready? Are you ready, Timothy? Are you ready? Is your big brain? You're going to get it? Ready? Okay. Be your own hero. This is for survivors, warriors, advocates, loved ones, and supporters ready to move past pain and suffering and reclaim joy and happiness. I mean, okay, sign me up. It is never too late to have a happy childhood. I want to repeat that. It's on this page too. Look, same. It's never too late to have a happy childhood. I mean, did you hear that, Timothy? Even if you were raised by wolves, were you raised by wolves? Probably not. It's never too late to have a happy childhood. Did you hear that part? Okay, good. This workbook takes you on a journey to remove the sword of trauma, reclaim your strength and power, and live a joyful life. Hey, all right. Just in a workbook? I mean, you never know what's going to happen around these parts. On here it's page 4. On here, listen, on page 4. Here, I wrote a letter. On one of them. Let me read you my letter. Ready? You can get these on Amazon if you want the actual printed version. And P.S., just so you know, what I did is I'm a screenwriter. I write books. I've written many books. I've written many movies. And so this is my service work and my healing work, doing this particular work. And what I did is I incorporated what I already know and what I'm really good at. And so I wrote this workbook for you to be, it is already written out in the hero's journey template that you don't even realize. So when you fill out the pages and you actually do the work, you will have the first draft of your book. Shut the front door. You're welcome. Yes, because it's not my first rodeo, right? And I've been seeing and working and helping people for decades now with this stuff. And when you do start addressing your own trauma and your own story, usually you want to write a book, or usually you want to do a course or write a song, or what. This will help you do that. So it's set up already. All right, ready? Here's your letter. You ready? And I'm going to look at your comments. I'm going to keep on track here, but I will circle back. Dear warrior, me. It's me. You might not feel you're a warrior, but we're going to be warriors, okay? Dear warrior, I began this workbook after going through my own journey of recovery. That's true. I now lead a joyful life. Woohoo! And I hope you will do the same. You can learn about my story and my film, Searching for Angela Shelton, and my book, Finding Angela Shelton, on angelashelton.com. You can get that there. There are sheets like this throughout the workbook. Tear them out if you need to and carry them with you if you won't. They are meant to be guideposts for you to discover your inner warrior. Woohoo! That would be you. Yeah, Timothy. We're going to get this. There are questions in the blue sections to use as a group setting to inspire conversation. We can do it together, or you can take it to your support group, your class, this thing has been used with children and also seniors. I mean, my mom was 75 years old. She did it with her therapist. Thank you for using this workbook and for moving into your own healing or healing someone else. Hey, by the way, healing is an act of revolution. What'd you say? I said healing is an act of revolution. I just want to side note, whatever you have had, like your perpetrators or anybody who hurt you or your abuser or whatever it was, because everybody's got something. There are more of us than there are of them. Okay? So if you think about it, like who was your perp or who was your abuser? They had many victims. It wasn't just you. Am I right? Am I right? Yeah. That means that there are more of us than there are of them. Right? So, good day. Hey. So, there are more of us than there are of them. So, healing is an act of revolution when you actually get better and get out of the stuck repeat cycle of being a victim, just like over and over and over, just like being pierced with the sword, right? So, like, look at Timothy here. He's like, he went through some stuff, lost his family, witnessed some violence. He's tortured a little bit. He's an angry octopus. He's got some health issues, all kinds of stuff. I mean, look, right? So if you remove this thing, what's going to happen? He's going to be, ouch! But it doesn't last forever. That's why this analogy works so well. This is why it's used all over the place. This is why it's used in so many, even retreats use this workbook, because it's a great concept and it applies to any healing modality or your therapy or your therapist or support group, whatever. It gives you a framework of like, it doesn't last forever. Because if you address your trauma and address your scare, if you actually go into when we address our core issues, it is scary. And you think that you're like, oh my God, it's going to last forever. Oh my God. Two things I've seen over the decades that I've been doing this and traveling is there tend to be people who have been through trauma are scared of two things: getting mad or crying. And removing this, all it is getting mad or crying, or a combination of both. Usually it leads to laughter eventually. I will give you that little added side note. It's kind of like a scream closet. You go in upset, you scream, you come out laughing. We'll get there. We're only on page 4. Ready? Okay, how to use this workbook. It's real simple. Open it. Just open it. Just read it and do it. How to use this workbook. You may use this workbook alone or in a group. We're in a group on TikTok right now and on YouTube. Hey. Now listen, share your answers with friends and supporters to help one another through the process of healing. You can share it with each other. You can keep your mouth shut and not share it with anybody if you want. But usually when you share, you're going to talk to somebody who's also going through it. I mean, we're not floating alone and like all by ourselves in the universe. You are going through it. I mean, it's the things I'm going through, you're also going through. The things you're going through, you ain't alone. This workbook can and should be done in stages. Go slowly. Don't just, I'm the rebel. I'm the one that's like, let's go. Let's get to page, how far does this go? 117 pages? Can we skip ahead? I mean, go slowly. The warrior worksheets provide a jumping off point for writing. By the way, I told you it will lead to your book too. Remember? Finish the sentences provided to help you pinpoint insights into yourself and others. Write more in a blank notebook if you need. I would recommend that. Warning! Here's a warning. It says a warning. It's in big letters. This workbook may bring up intense emotions. Don't you think if you're going to address this and you're going to actually look at it and remove it, don't you think you're going to have some intense, I mean, it's not like, woo, it's going to be a party. We can make it a party. We can make it fun. But I mean, it does hurt. It does hurt. Warning, it hurts. Okay? Okay. It can hurt. Maybe you're like, honestly, I'm going to rise above the pain. I'm not going to feel anything. This workbook. Okay. It is recommended that you have a therapist present if you're working in a group. Well, it depends on the therapist. Some of those therapists are crazy. I mean, seriously, let me just call it out. Spell out the rapist, therapist. Just want to put that out there. I mean, open to all things, but how about you do some quantum healing, some leveling up healing, or you could sit on a therapy sofa for 25 years if you won't and continue talking, or you could do it. It's easier done than said. You're welcome. So if you have a therapist that you trust who's not completely a lunatic, sorry. If you are working alone, share this with someone you trust and feel safe with as a therapist or a trusted family member or friend. Healer, they're out there. Find one on TikTok. This workbook was inspired by Angela Shelton's speaking events. It was. By the way, my show in London is going to have swords. It's a theme. It's a continuous theme. For more information on bringing Angela Shelton to your community, please visit. Oh shit, that's a wrong URL right there. AngelaShelton.com/speaker. That's the way it should be. Use the blank pages to draw, doodle, or rant. You can all rant. All right, ready? Let's go. You ready? And now we begin. Ready? Now we begin. This is a big one, y'all. When beginning a journey of transformation, what? Who me? Who me? Who me? You are faced with many levels of healing, awareness, and wholeness. What? You mean like 8 legs? Now is the time to think about what you are really ready for and to make a commitment to yourself. We're going to do it today on TikTok. Like, really, make a commitment to yourself. I'm doing this for free, and I'm putting it on my app. I'm also going to take these videos and put them on my course that I already have, so it'll be updated, So you're ready to make a commitment to yourself. I'm making a commitment to you that I'm going to do this weekdays in the mornings for 30 days. You're welcome. What are you ready to receive, and what are you willing to let go of? Look at you. What are you ready to receive? Freedom! Freedom! What are you willing to let go of? Maybe your sword? Do you think maybe your sword? Would that be something? Okay. For example, if I wanted to be a goddess, I had to let go of self-hatred. Hello, because the two do not fit. You see that? So just like joy and violence cannot coexist, self-hatred cannot exist if you are living a life you love. So think about that. Hello, made you look. So really, what are you? I can't see everybody's comment, but I will circle back. But what are you ready to receive, and what are you willing to let go of? I mean, you could say the sword. If you're ready to receive a sword in your life and be a warrior, you would have to let go of it being pierced by it, right? You mean, another thing is most people, have relationship questions and money questions. I mean, those are the two big things. My mom was a psychic on the Psychic Network, y'all. I got to see all the questions that came in. I had her write out and keep notes on all the questions that people sent in. And usually it was money and love and money, money and love, money and love. So if you just want to take that and say you're ready to receive an amazing, committed, beautiful relationship with somebody, you better let go of your old anxious attachments and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Hey, Johnny, money or yeah, it's just, so I'm using this as an example to see what are you ready to receive? What are you willing to let go of? So if you're ready to receive an amazing relationship, you're going to have to let go of the issues that you have that keep you from having really good relationships, right? If you're ready to receive, living in total abundance, you're going to have to let go of your poverty conscious mindset in your brain. See what I mean? If you're going to let go of, not, or ready, rather, if you're ready to receive being a awesome goddess warrior, you're going to have to let go of self-hatred. The two don't fit. The two don't fit. Oh, this is you're asking me. I'm going to circle back to those questions. I'm on a train right now. No, so what are you willing to receive and what are you willing to give up? Right? So if you are ready to receive being a warrior, then you must let go of the role of victim. Now, why do people like the role of victim? Because they have a story to tell. Yeah, because that's where they resonate the most. And then I did this workbook, like I said, I did it in my play camp as if I'm 8. So you can answer these questions where you are right now, or you can like think about like, where are your inner child? Like, what's your inner child? What are you ready to receive? I want to be a rock star. I have to let go of my fear of the stage. Or I want to have more fun in my life. I'm ready to receive more fun. Well, you're going to have to let go of not putting that on your calendar, maybe. I mean, yes, it's easier. Yes, but so many people, it's like literally, it's easier to stay stunted. It really is. It truly is. But in the long run, not really, right? But there is a trick to this. This is a riddle. What are you ready to receive and what are you willing to give up is everything and everything. I really don't recommend that unless you're truly ready for it. My best friend did it. That was hers first. And then I witnessed her like, oh, she said that. And then she quite literally lost everything in her life and then gained everything. It was amazing. I was like, wow. And then I did it. And then I lost everything in my life more than once. And then I gained everything. So it's like the answer to the riddle, if you truly want to go into like full catharsis, full realization, is everything and everything. Because you have to step into like the complete fearlessness if you want. But you can go slow of like, I'm willing to receive a nice relationship. Well, I'm going to have to stop beating myself. If I let go of beating myself up, I mean, the two are connected, right? If you're gonna be a warrior who can wield a sword, Timothy, this is Timothy, by the way, then you have to let go of the fear of coming out, right? How you doing? Are we staying on track? Are we good? We're on page 6. How are you doing today? Yeah, I love you too. I love you too. So what are we talking about? Let's go to page 7 and let's talk about trauma for a little bit, and then I will post this. I love. Sometimes you just need puppets in your life. You can get them at Folk Manus. These are all Folk Manus puppets. They sponsored me because of my work with kids. And I have a ginormous collection of Folk Manus puppets, and they're amazing. And this one's Timothy. Hi, Timothy. Hi. Oh, gosh, you got a sword, huh? Ouch. Does that hurt? You're not going to talk about it? Hurt? Okay. Yeah, so we're going to work on that. So what was your trauma? What got that? What pierced that into place? You got attacked or something? You don't want to talk about it? I understand. Okay, so group questions. Hey, morning, Timothy. Hi. Group questions is, what is trauma? What is trauma? Me? Me talking, speaking the truth? Yeah, okay. What's trauma? Things we can't say on TikTok. Yeah, it could be horrible things you witnessed. Throw some out, y'all, in your comments. Like, what are some trauma that we're not getting in trouble? Hollywood's some trauma. Yeah. Abusive relationships. You witnessed abuse, like your parents were incarcerated or your parents were alcoholics. You were in the foster care system. That was horrible. Like, what are your parents? Oh my God. I know. I feel you. I'm going to move so I can see your comments better. So, morning, Timothy. Hello, darlings. So, yeah, foster care. So, like, what's a trauma? What is a trauma? Let's say, Timothy. Hello. Read them. Abandoned your whole life. Yes, that's a huge trauma. It's hold on. I grew up by myself. Trauma bonding. Do you even like trauma bonding? Isn't that like every day? Everywhere? Yeah, like yeah. So you were let's see here. Oh hi. All right, okay. Let's I can see your comments now. Hey, Timothy, what's some of your trauma? Yeah, literally. Yeah, trauma bonding literally. I grew up by myself, like for real, like where the crawdads sing kind of thing. Yeah, I hear you. You what else? What's some trauma? School. School. Narcissistic family. Oof, that's one. Yeah. One of those N words, narcissist is the N word, is, in one of the relationships, right? And you can't, you're scared to go back into the dating world because you went through one of those. That's trauma. Bullying, trauma, you know, uh, poverty. Poverty is a big one. Poverty is a big one. Like trauma. Witness something. You witnessed violence. You witnessed 9/11. You were there. Like there can be so many forms of trauma. And then you're nurtured and it's okay. We're gonna get through it. You're gonna be fine. You're gonna be fine. Thank you for the love. I appreciate it. And experiencing trauma, whatever you went through, is literally like getting pierced with a sword. And that is what I'm like. That's why I do this work. This is why I like show it so silly because it works. Because imagine you have a sword in your body. It works. It really works. It like, okay, so this happened. So you had that relationship. So you had those parents. So you had that horrible thing happen. Yep. Okay. So there it is. And you got one too, right? I mean, I know you got one too. Here, I'll do this one. Here, I'll do this one. You can see mine, and then we'll see yours. Okay, good. We got it. We got it going on. So you see, like we've been through some stuff. And then when you take this concept out in the world, you will start noticing you're like, oh wow, that person is wounded, huh? Yeah, that person's got like a couple of them going on. Like, wow, that's how you doing with that, people? How's that sword treating you? Ouch, it hurts. Not healing, right? Exactly. It's like you're just staying that way. And the thing is when we get into this discussion of healing and moving on and yada yada, there's so many buzzwords of like you just need self-care. You just need to, heal it, feel it and heal it. And sometimes it's really frightening and it's daunting. And that's why it says in here, that's why it's like go slow. That's why this particular concept works so well, and this is why therapists and support groups and for years now this have used this, is because it doesn't last forever. It doesn't lever. It doesn't last forever. It's like it's kind of like a sword. Like it's got an end point, and we can address it. But don't jump to like, oh great, I'm gonna address it every day. I'm gonna do it today. I'm just going to pull it all out and I'm just going to purge everything today. You can do that if you want, but it is better, in my opinion. I've seen it. If you just just take a deep breath and go slowly, because when you actually do this work and actually really do see where you've been wounded and where you need to purge, and it's usually crying or anger, you're going to have a level up. You're going to have like aha, you're gonna have. I mean, imagine like you. There's a reason why this is. It's funny, but it works. It's like once you do this and you actually like reveal this to pull this out, it hurts. Yes, it's horrible to talk about the things we went through. It's horrible to be radically honest, but it's also radically healing. So I want to just warn you with the stuff that I do, I'm all about fast quantum, like healing, like giving modality, like healing modalities that are like quick so that we can, because I'm sorry, I don't know about you, but I'm not going to spend 25 years sitting on a sofa talking about my problems. I'm just not going to do it. And just with my uh, intimate work I do with healing and bringing holy bedrooms back, even that, when you're ready to have a holy bedroom after you've come out of like the worst possible things that have stolen the bedroom, right? There's a shift into dramatic new life experiences that are completely unfamiliar. Because when you come from trauma, like many of us, when we were raised by wolves, when that's all you've seen, when you went from the abusive home into the foster care home, where you were also abused, and then you got into abusive relationships, and you've just been on the cycle of trauma, because it can be daunting seeing a healed person. This is also why people get mad, if you've noticed, like as you get healthy and healing and are living it, like you're living proof. There are people who do not like you anymore. They're mad at you. They'll attack you. They'll get mad, and the only reason is because they're talking to themselves. You know what I'm saying? And I'm going to circle back to your comments. Thank you so much. Yay! I'm so excited. Hey, Rondi, but I'm starting this, like the reason I'm doing this every day now for all of August is so that it gets into your brain for free. I mean, if you stumbled upon me, you're welcome. And also I'm going to update my app and my own course I have it on Samcart, and I have it in my Reformers network, and I also have it on my app, so that you can get me wherever you need me the most. You see what I'm saying? But I will warn you that when you do this work, this is where I'm leading, it is transformative if you do it, and you will be unfamiliar. You will feel unfamiliar. You'll look unfamiliar. It's different. And when you shift into new awareness, I'm just giving you some warnings. There are people that do not like it. Does that make sense? They do not like it. They don't like you doing it simply because it's making them see themselves. That's it. And so just proceed and do it anyway, because the people that need to come into your life and be inspired by you healing will be drawn to you. It is like a magnet. It's like a magnet. And this, which we'll get into it. I mean, this is a lot. This is only page 7. This is also a magnet. Like, so when you have the sword and you've been traumatized, you can be a magnet for more trauma. I mean, it just happens. It is a mindset thing, and it's an energetic thing, and it's a repeat. It's like a victim. Honestly, life is an Excel spreadsheet. So we have gone through all of our traumas. I mean, we listed them out. It's kind of endless of all of our traumas. We can't judge each other because you might have a different trauma than me, but it's the same reaction. It's the same effect on our body, mind, and spirit. That's why the sword works, because it doesn't matter what you went through. I mean, with all due respect, I love you. Reading my adoption paperwork, traumatizing. Yes. So you don't think about it. You like little thing, getting fired, starting a new career, like all of these things can be very traumatizing, and they can go back to original trauma too. It's usually linked all the way back to something a caretaker did or didn't do, if you know what I'm saying. And it's a magnet for repeat trauma, just like an Excel spreadsheet. So if you know how Excel spreadsheets work, like we have a line in one column, you got all your trauma listed out. And then you will, because of all these traumas, there's actual like a legitimate real life study. It's called the ACE study. You have all of these things you've been through in one column. You will lead into addictions, self-abuse, self-hatred, repeat abusive relationships, all kinds of various issues, whatever. You'll lead to, if you come from an incarcerated family, the likelihood of you being incarcerated is pretty dang high. Things like that, right? So it's the trauma equals all of these effects unless you change the equation. And so in the Excel spreadsheet, that's what I do. I come in and I'm like, okay, listen, we need to change the equation, right? And then changing the equation is literally changing the energetic move of it. Like, this is a magnet. When you're traumatized, it's a magnet for more trauma and more abuse. But then when you purge it and then you have it, this becomes your pen, it becomes your paintbrush, it becomes your speaking microphone, like whatever you're called to do, like whatever your true purpose is in life. Your true purpose is more important than your pain. That's such a powerful sentence. Your true purpose in life is more important than your pain. So I tend to be a little bit of a drill sergeant. Like, I will be friendly and I'm kind and I genuinely love people, but I will also kick your ass. Because you need to be writing that book. You need to be writing that song. You need to get off your tuchus and get to work. And this is keeping you stunted, right? You have a show to do, Timothy. You've got to get on stage. You can't, what's this? What are you doing? Come on, let's get to it. You see what I'm saying? So when you get to the place, when you get to the place where it's your sword, you're using it and you're getting back into play, you attract that. This becomes a magnet for the people that need to come into your life to level you up. It becomes a different kind of magnet once you have removed it from your body and your psyche and your spirit and your, body, mind, and spirit. Once you've removed it and let go of it, which is it's easier done than said. It's easier done than said. We're going to, we get attached to all things and we're like, but wait, I'm going to talk about it. I'm going to talk all about it and not do anything. I just want to talk. Or we're going to do it. Right. Okay. So we're going to do what we can on YouTube and TikTok because of kids, because I also teach this with little kids. I did say one word over there. I need to go back and edit that one word, but I'm going to stay clean and kid friendly because this does apply to what kids go through too. Like it applies to bullying. It applies to going to a new school. Probably why I'm attached to materials because of trauma. Interesting. Oh, I'm not paying attention to the silly comments right now. I'm talking about the sword of trauma. We are on page 7 of the workbook. And this is so it's just freaking, it works. This concept works. This is the reason why it's my number one most popular thing, because you can apply it to whatever you have. Now you can apply it. I have 5 out, but I'm going to redo it all. I'm going to do an ASMR speech and also a slow in your earballs, in your little earbuds, specifically for men, working men. So because the working men, I've noticed, because I've worked with a lot of groups, are not going to do the workbook usually. That they're working, they get up at 3:30 or 5 and they're going to work. So I'm doing it to where you can listen to it. And when you start paying attention to just your life, just your reactions, just pay attention of being pierced with a sword, right? So just don't judge yourself. Just pay attention to it. You're like, oh wow, I got extra angry or extra I'm quick to, I'm a reflex responder, is that somebody done triggered you because you're wounded? You know what I'm saying? I want you to just pay attention to it. Just the sword of trauma. And it can apply pretty much to anything, I joke, is about yoga, because I'm slowly myself learning yoga moves, and I'm applying where I personally feel cool to practice yoga because I experience trauma when it comes to yoga. And so I'm a little bit like, no thanks, because I experienced trauma. So I have I'm coming into the party. I'm coming into the yoga mat place already like this. So this is a perfect example. It could be, I mean, we could be going through all kinds of things. You know what I mean? Angela, what happened in yoga? We're not going to talk about it. but you can, the point is, it can apply anywhere. And then you're like traumatized, right? That's the sword. But the great thing is all of those triggers and all the like, oh my God, you're quick to anger or quick to sadness or quick to respond. And it's just a little bit too much. That's probably because you've been traumatized or something. And you are reacting because there's a whole bunch of projection going on. If you want to do all the lingo, the healing and recovery lingo, which I sometimes like. I don't even like the lingo of like, oh, it's self-love and self-care, and I love it. I am into making bold moves in life so that we get better at an elevated pace, and that healing is an act of revolution. Healing is an act of revolution. Moving and breathing. Yes, it's true. So when you are in a revolution, by you healing and moving to the next level in your life, you take other people with you by doing just what you're doing. You don't have to go start a nonprofit. You don't have to go hold a sign. You don't have to go and like save a whole bunch of people. You just have to live your life joyfully, and other people will be affected. Sometimes they're thrown away from you, and you should be like, thank you very much. Thank you. Because that it's like propelling them away, because you've been attracting it with this like a magnet. You know, if you've been attracting repeated trauma and repeated victimhood, it's like a magnet. You know that feeling? You're like, wait, I married my dad again? How did that happen? You know what I'm saying? When you're triggered, when you are just repeat trauma, really. When you do level up, when you do level up and do this work, again, I'm repeating myself, but I'm doing it for a reason, so that really gets into your brain. You will attract a higher level of awareness and awakening, and it will be unfamiliar. That's the thing, because like when we were raised by wolves, we don't know what it looks like. We don't know what it looks like to live fully at peace and like in a warrior stance, and like to wake up completely in love with every moment. What does that look like? You woke up like in fear of your life, right? So, yeah, wait, I married my dad again. Yeah, exactly. How did that happen? Hey, wait, you're in a relationship. I mean, I talk to a lot of dudes too who are in the same relationship with their mama. You know what I'm saying? You're like, wait, oh, hey, how'd you do that again? Well, it's because you keep attracting it. It's because you keep attracting this. And then we'll get to it. It gets further into the book, but you can be into relationships with people who are also wounded. And then you're not even really in a full relationship. What's happening is your wounds, each other's wounds are in a relationship, and it's like tangled, and you're upsetting each other with everything you do simply by doing it because you're wounded. You just, when you are pierced with a sword of trauma, it's hard to cuddle. It's hard to be present, because you're like, hey, I'm going to take everything personally because I'm wounded, right? I'm going to take everything personally. I love it. So that's today. That was page 1 through 7. What is trauma? We're going to leave with what's trauma? What's your trauma? Walk away. Hey, good morning. You were the light. Oh, thank you. Yeah. La, 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 la. So, page 1 through 7. And tomorrow we'll do the next section. Why people remain silent. And now, this will be like, hey, that was section whatever. We can edit that. We can add it. Now I'm going to look at your comments so I can see you better. Angela, hey, John Henry. Angela, I watched your movie, The Hammer. Oh, God bless you. God bless you, John. What did you think? Because I made movies. That's traumatic. That you want to talk about trauma? Dealing with Hollywood and the Screen Actors Guild. That's traumatic. I have Screen Actors Guild post-traumatic stress disorder. Anyone? Anyone? Help me. Yeah, so trauma can be anything. Trauma can be anything. Why do I love hugs? Ah! Hey, Timothy. Hey. Yep, trauma bonding. Okay. When you're pierced with a sword of trauma, it's hard to cuddle. It's true. It's so true. Hey, Tina. Like, hey, Tina. I mean, I've been a broken record for years, my friend. And there's a reason. Sometimes you have to actually take a minute. Oppenheimer was pretty rough the other day. It was awesome. It made me cry a little bit. Okay. Oh, the movie Hammer made you cry. I appreciate you watching that. That is like, I love that movie. It really, as it should, make you cry. It's a beautiful love story. It's a beautiful love story. And it's not only the love story that you're expecting, right? It's a brotherhood love story. I know, John Henry. I know. And I appreciate you watching that. That has been, for me, I'll share my own trauma, incredibly traumatizing making that movie on so many levels, because I went into the next phase of being boss and queen and just like freaking goddess awesomeness in the face of people who tell you you can't do it, right? Okay, try being a female, young-ish female directing a movie with 250 men in prison. Okay, you would think people are like, how is it being a female filmmaker? And I was like, I can't even answer. I don't even have time to answer that question because I'm busy making a movie. Because when you're making a movie, it's so incredibly busy, and you got to be really organized, and your calendar and your time and your schedule is like so focused and on point. And like, if you want to talk to me, we're walking and talking. Hey, boss. Yeah, that's great. There's a great story about being the boss too. Actually, I should tell you that story. It was great. What's his name? LJ, I think it was LJ. This guy, when I came to set the very first day, we had a whole breakfast set up, and this was the first time the director and the producers and everything are going to meet all heads of department together. Like, I'd already hired people and interviewed everybody, but we were going to have our first, production meeting that everybody meets each other. We're going to have and we had a big presentation of food, because for me, when on my set, it's fun and I feed you. Like, you're fed really well and you have fun. That's on my sets. That's just the way it works. And I have a ton of great breathing techniques. We'll get there. We're going to the next phase every day. Every day we're going to do it all August. I've made the commitment. Oh God. Weekday. I do take my days in the weekend off because I do crazy things like go four-wheeling and stuff and unplug my phone. So we're at this breakfast. This is a good story for those of you who are like, oh, really? You're going to be a warrior and you're going to take your sword out? Really? As if. So we're at this big breakfast and I'm just happy as a lark. I'm like, hello, hey, how are you? Hey. And there was this grumpy old Teamster dude, LJ. I think his name was LJ. God bless him. Old, like grumpy dude, been around the block. He is just not having me. He's not having me at all. And I was like, good morning. What's your name? And he's like, oh God. I think he thought I was like a makeup artist or something, and just like goofy. And I'm like, we're making a movie. It's exciting. We're going to make a movie. And he's just like, oh God, you make me sick. And so I was like, I hope you're having a good time. Nice having you here. And he's just like, weirdo. He goes and sits down. Then everybody's having their breakfast. One of my producers steps up and says, hey, welcome. Thank you very much. Blah, blah, blah. Here, I'd like to introduce you to the director, and who's also the producer, and who's also the writer. And she calls me up, and I step up, and that guy in the audience was like, oh. And every day since then, like that afternoon, and then every single day, he had a parking space because he's the Teamsters. They do all the trucks and parking and everything. He had a special place just for me with the cones. He's like, hey boss, got you right here, boss. Hey boss, hey boss. So it was perception. Perception is an interesting thing. And perception of being fun and nice, which is what I'm kind. I wouldn't say I'm nice all the time. I'm kind. But I am also very funny. But at the end of the day, I'm the boss, yo, and I can fire you. And so, and, and I did actually fire 2 people for their disrespect. And that was only 2 out of 250. That's amazing, I think, right? That's amazing. And yeah, I do. I get stuff done, yes. And I directed the beautiful prison boxing movie called The Hammer that John just saw. And I appreciate that. And that's one little story of that movie. But I could apply so many stories in that movie to trauma because it's like that you can apply that to trauma. Like if somebody's going to look at you, like, who are you? Who are you to write your book? Who are you to do a course or something? Who are you to level up out of your poverty consciousness life? Who are you to do anything magnificent? Who are you not to, is what I say. Who are you not to? And you can be kind and have fun along the way. And the people who are not kind and not having fun, sorry about you. You can, sprinkle golden freaking sparkly glitter along the way. Not glitter, glitter's terrible. Like, sparkly, divine sparks of awesomeness along the way. And you just let other people be in their mess. You just let other people be in their mess. And that guy is a perfect example. Grumpy was not having me. And then every single day, he had a big old smile on his face because I'm a fun director. And he had a great time. And it started with judgment. It started with judgment of like, who are you, pain in my butt? You're annoying. I was like, well, I could be more pain in the butt if I fired you right now. Just kidding. I love you. Have your bagel that I paid for. Bleed with kindness, and everyone has a story. Yeah, that's the thing. That is the thing. You hit the nail on the head, my friend. Everyone has a story. And when I have traveled so much, like I have been, I'm not joking when I say I've been to every state, down every highway, not state roads, highways. Although state roads would be fun, but I mean, that's a big commitment right there. I don't want to make that. But I've been to, oh my gosh, like I've spoken at big, huge conferences with like 500 nurses, with social workers, with police officers, at universities, at community block. I mean, it just isn't, it's a lot. I've done a lot. And everybody has a story. And there is always, every single event I have ever done, there's some dude. And I wrote this in an email to fellows who follow me too. I was like, there is some guy at the back. Always. There's always some dude who waits till the end. And usually because of our judgments and our perceptions, usually you could be like, oh, there's a creepy weirdo. He's going to try to follow you to your car and get and cop a feel. No, it's a male survivor. Every time. The stories are different. But it's a male survivor, and they respectfully wait until the very end because they don't feel included, and they've stayed because they've thanked me for bringing up male survivors in my speeches and like giving my respect to the men who've also been through this, because this is not a women's issue at all. This is a people problem. So they tend to hang around to thank me for speaking about men, but they didn't raise their hand in public. This is going to shift, I think, because they A, are embarrassed by their own story. B, they've already been shut out. Like you ask men, who do you go to when you have a problem? Like when you really need somebody, who do you go to? Nobody. And it's like, that to me is heartbreak. So it's men who've waited for me at the end, and it's always a male survivor. Granted, the stories are different. The abusers and the perps can be men, can be women, can be groups. Oh, Lord. I mean, I've heard it, and I have respect for it. And I say that to you because of judgment, and perception. And people are like, who are you? Who are you to do that? Who are you to do that? Who are you to talk about your stuff? I'm like, who are you not to? Who are you not to? And also, please, like, look at everybody that they have a story. They really do. Like, most folks are kind, have been through a lot of trauma. Yeah. It's like you just have no idea with people's stories. And usually the angry, grumpy ones, the ones that have like that whole facade of like, I cut you. I usually love them the most because I see that. I just see right through it. And I'm like, you're afraid to cry. I love you. And, because I've had too many not too many, I've had many experiences where I've been with people. Like, I don't want to label people, but there is like people afraid to cry or afraid to get angry. And removing this and dealing with this and like purging to the next level is literally getting mad or sad or a combination of both. It's crying and it's raging in healthy ways. Because when we're stunted, by the sword, we tend to turn that on ourselves. So you turn your anger and rage and sadness on yourself because you're wounded. It's so simple, really. It's so simple, and it's like, wait, what? And then when you just see it, that's why it's like, go slow and just see it. Just see, like, actually, all of my behaviors are directly linked back to this. And I'm upset. And I really want to get mad. And I really want to cry. But I'm afraid to get mad because if I get mad, I'm going to be a Tasmanian devil and I'll never stop. And it'll just be a nightmare for everyone. That's fear, number one. The other fear is usually the people that are like, have no problem getting mad. They like live in their, quick to like, they're like ready for a fight at any minute. Those type. They tend to be afraid of crying. So if they touch their tears, there'll be a crying ball of sadness and never come out of it again. This is what they think. And I'm here to tell you, it's the same thing, like the same fear of crying and fear of getting mad. And it's like, it goes in hand. The king is still alive. Yes, the king is still alive down here somewhere. I've got Elvis. I do have Elvis. I'm going to take a drink of milk. So embrace your gifts and don't care what people think. Your story can help someone. It's so true. It really is true. That is very true. We all suffer different traumas, different ways, but it's all the same. It's so true. Yeah. This is raw milk from the cow, not pasteurized. Amazing. Speaking of healing, for years in my own body, I had many like asthma and throat issues because much of my abuse was here. You know what I'm saying? And I was having trouble breathing. Also, my mother was not around. It's like loss of mother is connected to asthma. Did you ever hear that? And I was allergic, had so many health problems. And I started changing what I'm putting in my mouth. And it made a huge difference. So I'm drinking raw milk and I eat grass-fed meat. Because my body is my temple. Have you ever accidentally farted on a live? Rando question. Well, no, I haven't accidentally. I've intentionally. Just kidding. Do you say holy cow for that question? I love it. Like, rando questions today. Did you toot? Did you take a dookie in your pants? I mean, sometimes when you're talking about, did you get your boogers? Did you ever take a dookie in your pants? Did you take a dookie in the water ever? Did it float? Don't lie. Milk actually makes mucus. That's not actually true, my friend. It's the pasteurization that is making us sick. The raw milk has like no mucus. I don't have that like I've had forever. And I started following and learning from my friend, the one in Nashville. I talk about him all the time. He looks like Jesus, and I love that. His name is Sean Gilder. He is the one in Nashville. He's a health expert. And I said the same thing. I was like, I can't drink milk. Are you insane? That's going to cause me to have the mucus that I'm trying to avoid. And he was like, no, listen to me. And he's right. God dang it, he's right. Did you say you found asthma related to mother wounds? Yes. Asthma related to mother wounds. Yep. And also black seed oil. If anybody has asthma, black seed oil, just take a sip of it every day. It'll keep you out of the hospital. That's another thing I've learned. Like, well, hello, everybody. I'm looking at your comments now. We just did page 1 through 7. I know somebody asked, like, what's going on here? What's going on here is AngelaShelton.com. I have a workbook. Let me just, for those new, this is on my site, AngelaShelton.com. And I'm doing a show in London. It's going to be hilarious. It's hilarious. It's a comedy. That's not funny. It's not funny. This is the book. This is the coloring book version. It's coloring book version. Same book. Page numbers can get a little bit different because the opening is a little bit different. See how to use the workbook. Look, see, this one has we're going to color it. The Sword of Trauma coloring book. Wouldn't that be funny? I just start coloring. Like y'all are like on live. I'm like, what? I'm coloring. What are you doing? Oh, look, here's the orange. I'm just going to grab an orange. I'm just going to color this for a second. Da da da, color in the W with orange, yeah. So Sword of Trauma workbook is the coloring book. This one, I love it. This is great. My friend Amelia Horst did all of the designs in here. There's so many really great, like where you can get doodly. You're like, I don't want to answer this question. It's bringing up so much stuff in me. So I'm just going to ignore. This is funny. This is the word I'm just going to ignore. Ignore. I'm just going to ignore our pain. I'm just going to ignore it. I'm not going to look at it right now. So this one I recommend getting because you can color it in. I'm going to do it right now. What? Stop judging. I'm coloring. You should color too. It's page 1 through 7. Here we go. Sword is yellow. Just colored it. So yeah, the book is great. It's really worthwhile. It's my most popular thing I've ever done. I mean, I make movies. I won an Emmy, a Safe Side Super Chick. That's pretty cool. But this is my most popular thing. And I'm so happy about that because this is the gold right here. Is this concept, even if you don't buy nothing. Like, I love it if you buy stuff. I mean, sure, that's awesome because it goes right to my account. I appreciate you. But I'm doing it so that we can level up and elevate together faster. And I'm leading into my show. Today's August 1st, and I have a show November 5th in London that takes this whole thing into a show. And so it's perfect timing that we go through it. We go through the whole workbook because and then you're gonna be like, oh shit, I gotta go to London. I just said that. Like you had me in the graveyard with your mom. Oh yeah. Speaking of my mom is a perfect example of traumatized. My mother was beaten by her mother. So her mom, my grandmother, was pretty harsh. Harsh is to put it lightly. And she switched. Anybody Southern that know about switches? And she switched everybody. And my mom went into trauma and then repeat trauma and repeat trauma. And she went into relationships where she was the controller, and because you're controlling everything to try to make it work. It's all Excel spreadsheet stuff. It's pretty darn simple. And she drove men crazy. I witnessed my mother with men, and I wouldn't wish that on anybody. I don't care what you've done in your life. I wouldn't wish that on you. I bless you, sweet man. I'm like, And I mean that with all sincerity, from wounded people who keep wounding and can't see that they're wounded. Yeah. And then you're just perpetually either wounding yourself or other people, or you're in the, oh God, how do you like passive aggressive people? This is a perfect example of like passive aggressive people that are super wounded and not addressing this, but they're going to talk around this and never do anything. Yeah. My mom is a Cancer, super, super sensitive. It drives me nuts personally. My parents, oh yeah, and I'm sure it's passed down through the family. Yeah. Yeah. I like your code. Your parents abused you and it sure is passed down. Yeah, it's learned behavior and it's generational. And this is also why people don't want you to talk about it. And then when you start healing and getting better and like leveling up, I mean, you change the way you look. I mean, your face changes, your body changes, you stand differently when you start getting better and healing. And the people that are stuck in that generational trauma stuff do not like it. And they will try to sabotage you. They will try to be the saboteur because you are representing a pathway out and they're not doing the work and they're afraid of it and they're stunted and they will try very, very much. They will try. Sometimes it'll be a job for them. It'll be like a side job to try to thwart your progress forward. And then you're going to have to make some decisions. You have to make some decisions of how important is your time? Are you going to stop your own movement forward to make somebody else feel better? Did you hear what I just said? Are you going to stop your momentum and your healing forward to make somebody else feel better? Me personally, I'm a crazy dancer. I dance like I'm having an epileptic fit. I don't dance with, you can dance with me, but probably not with me because you might get hurt. I mean, I'm trying to look out for you. Because I am a divine spark of wild firecrackers, especially with gospel music. And I have not done that. I have sat down, been quiet, been silenced, sat in the back because of other people being uncomfortable with my energy. And one was 10 years, one's 3 years, one's 6 months, and you get to a point, I think me turning 50, women told me this, they're like, something will happen when you turn 50. And they were right. I'm like, I stepped into another layer of, I don't care. Like, hey, it's like, I'm not going to stop me because me personally, this is my story. Me dancing is my testimony for God. Like that's when I feel the happiest and the most elate is on my bike and on the dance floor. And I start dance floors because I have no fear. I'm like, you should totally bring me to your town. We'll start some dance floors. Yes. And oh, thank you so much. I love it. Thank you. Thank you. Well, I want to first time. Excellent. I'm so yay. But and I say that to you about stopping yourself, and I'm always going to reveal my own crap. I'll unzip myself and reveal it all so that you'll see in your life like, oh yeah, I stopped myself, or I was stunted there, or like I was silencing myself because somebody else is uncomfortable. That's all it is. And they're uncomfortable because they're not doing it. Yeah, that's right. Truth is 55 is super funky. Exactly. Yeah. Truth is, I'm like happy as a lark. But I haven't been, I stopped my own self. I stopped myself in relationships. I mean, I had a boyfriend for 3 years at one point in my life who, when I would dance, he'd be like, oh, you are really embarrassing. That's when you say, bye, we're broken up now. I don't know who you're going out with. People don't know how to act when you reveal your stuff. It's so true. And reveal what stuff? Like reveal your higher connection, reveal your trauma. I mean, this like when you're gonna like purge and like stay in, like when you've got to have a purge moment and you've got to like lose your stuff, you know, people aren't necessarily going to stick around either, but that's fine. Like, that's why I say, like, get somebody on your team that you trust, that you can be safe with, that it's either a therapist or a healer or a best friend or somebody like that you trust, that you can just have a sounding board with. And it's not necessarily me, like, because people have done that to me too. They project onto me. Like, I had one guy, he was from Nigeria. I did not give him my email. Just kidding. but they decided that they're in love. Like, I love you. I'm like, well, that's nice for you. I'm glad that you are projecting that on me. I hope that you find healing and love. That's great. Oh my God. I've always told the empirical truth, brutal truths. It freaks them out. Yeah, it's true. You call fake book, Facebook, fake book, all of it. Yes, people are so uncomfortable with the truth. Well, nowadays you tell the truth and you'll get banned, canceled, suspended, shut down, shadow banned too. So it's like, you know, we have to collectively live our truth, is what that means. Yes. Hey, I like that. Hey, drooler, what you doing? What you doing, drooler? Hey, drooler, what's your name? You should go to my link in bio if you're like that. Sews everything. Oh my God. Need to organize my sewing and craft jewelry. Oh, hey. That's funny that you need to organize stuff. By the way, we in my Rockstar Reformers, so I have Rockstar Reformers is a network that I have. It is private. It's on Mighty Networks. It's kind of like the Facebook for in private. I started that oh God, it's been 1.5 years now. It's amazing. Like I was laying on the floor contemplating life, like if I was to lose everything and like, you know, if I was to DIE right now. Because my movies, John, I love you. I love that you love my movie, The Hammer, so much. But making that and dealing with the nightmare of Hollywood really did like brutally knock me to my knees. And so at one point I was laying on the ground like, oh my God, if I, you know, what have I given the world besides my brilliant child? I'm like, I have this incredible child. Thank you for letting me be her mom. That's thank you. But I was like, what do I give the world besides my perfect child? Well, she's not perfect. Brilliant. And I was laying there and I said, you know what? If everybody in my phone, just like y'all meet each other on my TikToks, you meet each other on the app, like there's a reason you're resonating and you come into me. Oh, not that way. That you've met me and you're going to meet somebody else. That's awesome. I get, it happens. It happens. I'm a conduit. And I was like, well, I need to be more myself and come out more and face more fears. And as you do that, what do I do? What have I done? What do I do in this world? And I thought, if everybody in my phone knew everybody else in my phone, the world would be a better place almost instantaneously. Because I'm not joking. I've traveled the world and been like, I know some amazing people. And so I did it. I started Rockstar Reformers. And the reason it was Rockstar Reformers is because I didn't want to call it Survivor Network. You know, I want to get away from the whole, you're a survivor. And even warrior, like even the word warrior, you are a warrior for sure. For sure, I am a warrior. Yes, I am. My path to my spiritual path is very much Shambhala, Path of the Warrior. Like that's my little book. I always have it with me. And Christ and Christian mysticism. That's like full reveal for me. And Shambhala, Path of the Warrior, Christian mysticism. That's what has resonated with me pretty much my whole life. And when I was presented with things like, here is the Shambhala, Path of the Warrior book, I was like, holy cow, that's how I live my life. And so that's full reveal for me. And I was like, if I could introduce everybody, but I don't want to introduce you and be like survivors. Because as much as I love the 12 steps, I think it's great. I've tried every modality out there. I've tried if I've missed something, bring me. I personally don't think it's empowering and powerful to say every day what you used to be. Because it's an energetic thing, it's a mindset thing. Just like even in, when you go to concerts, I love, I'm a huge grassroots fan. I love live music. There are sometimes when people want you to repeat after them and sing stuff. And I won't do that unless I believe what I'm saying. I'm not going to do it. Like, just like I can't do yoga unless I do yoga for Jesus. It's just my own thing. I have a whole yoga thing, y'all. We're going to work on it. We're going to do yoga and gospel. We'll see how that works out for me. And you can be a witness because I have my own things with yoga. What happened with yoga, Angela? So I have my own things, but removing all of the judgments and labels and all of that at the core, this resonates so well because this applies to anything. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what your faith is. It doesn't matter what your trauma was. Really, it's like, hey, let's help each other remove this, heal the wound, and then be amazing. Because there's no need for any of us ever to be in competition with each other, to be judgy perception weirdness with each other, because what you're doing in your life is completely different than what I'm doing. I guarantee you're not dancing like an epileptic seizure with a sword telling people how to do taking people through quantum healing techniques in a show in London. You're not doing that. I'm doing that. You might do something equally as magnificent and wild. Excellent. I love it. But so the most powerful thing with this workbook and this work and what I say in the world, and the reason I'm doing it is to put it in your brain that you're not floating alone, right? You're not floating. Who cares? Like, yeah, exactly. It's so true. Like, who cares? Like, so do it anyway, because everyone is we're all made of the same stuff. And we are definitely taught and shown to be in competition. And there's no need for that. There's like no need for that at all. It's like we can level up and be amazing citizens in this world. And also, I have an agenda. I do have an agenda. This is it. Ready? To help you level up and get out of the victim mode and be in the survivor mode, and then the warrior mode, and then the fully present mode. So, because when all of us survivors are fully present, we will eradicate the problem. We will. It just is going to work that way because there are more of us than there are of them. And the reason that these perp networks, the organized perps, I mean, you name it. It does exist. It's not, my bio dad was a van down by the river working alone. He was a candy man. He had an arcade. He was a counselor in a boys juvenile delinquent home. Like, he was, working alone he was the candy man in a van with candy. There are others that work together and they've got networks and they make a lot of money, like a lot of money. Sadly, I know a lot of this. I don't know. I don't want to know. I don't want to have it in my brain. I don't look at stuff like that. I don't want to. I love your stories. I respect it. I don't want to see it because I don't want it in my psyche, but because I already know. And so respectfully, I'm like, I keep my very, very Quakerish, like careful what you put into your eyeballs and your mind and your brain. I respect that, respect the past, respect the stories. I don't want to see it. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm in the other side of like, hey, bright, shiny light. Let me just stand here. Let me just be here. There's a great picture on my website, like when I'm holding the sword, where it's like, I think I'm holding it like this. To just be there, just be in my own strength and power and like emanating what I'm emanating, and then going to the next level on my stuff, like my comedy show that's not funny. There's a reason I'm doing it. There's a reason I'm doing it in London. There's a reason it's funny, but it's not funny. And because I am projecting quantum healing techniques is what I'm doing. And awareness under the guise of comedy, right? So that we at level up, like, and you actually like, so you're going to hear something, some survivor who's been beating themselves up or standing on the ledge. I got an email 2 days ago. Wow, I was on the 10th floor ready to, do that. And I just, stood there and thought, what would Angela do? And I was like, oh God, I would have been on the 12th floor above you saying like, move out the way. I'm going to give up too. So I understand. And so as we all show our mirrors of like, hey, been through hell. Well, you're awesome. You're doing all of your healing work. You're sewing, kitty quantum healing. It's like, yeah, that's what's happening. That's my intention. That's what I'm doing. That's what I've constantly been learning, and ways that I can do things in visuals and with dance and performance, that it is intentional quantum healing. Okay. That's why I'm doing it. And that's why I'm going to do it virtual ticket so that anybody in the world could watch it anywhere. That's why in London, I want the people only that are going to be interactive, because it is definitely going to be an interactive experience, so that you don't just sit there. You're not just sitting there and eating popcorn. No, you're in it. You're in the show. And so that's why London, that's why Theater in the Round, that's why I wanted this particular space. It's called the Cockpit. Pricked is premiering at the Cockpit. It's brilliant, really. I love it so much. I would love to do quantum healing. Well, do it right now, girl. Healed. I mean, goosebumps. It's like, okay, throw all that other stuff that you've been saying to yourself in your head, erase it out of your brain, and grow a new neural pathway in your brain. There you go. Hey, wait, hold up. Do you need something else? How about the cherry on top? This is Cherry Butler. This is Cherry Butler. The cherry on the top is, it doesn't tell me. You go, oh, Jay, I need to text you or something when I go. When is your next live? I'm doing it tomorrow. I'm coming on every day. I'm coming on every day at about 8:30 for 2 hours, hour and a half, 2 hours. And I'm going to take weekends off because I like to go for a run, four-wheeling and stuff, and I get muddy. My show is called Pricked. It's like, instead of sex ed, because we don't, careful what you say, we don't get sex ed in this country. We get, so my show is Prick Ed, Pricked. And it is, every day. Here is my TikTok, 8:30 Eastern time. So I'm in New York. I never seen you go mud. Well, you can't, because I don't really, I actually did film a little bit of it. I've got equal amount of like bruises and scratches because I was helping like carve some pathways. And it's fun. Okay, so you're in Virginia. So we're in the same time zone. So at 8:30 in the morning for about 2 hours. And then I'm going to do my regular job, which is, full disclosure, is I help Jesus. I love saying that. It makes me happy. I work with Jesus. My friend Sean Gilder, who is the one in Nashville on TikTok, and also his website is The One in Nashville. He was what I needed in my own life. He was the missing link I needed for the body health, for why I'm drinking raw milk, why I'm eating the way I'm eating. Things like putting Celtic salt in my water. I'm like, what? Weirdo. Okay, do whatever you say. Because when I was doing my own healing work, when I was hardcore into like getting out of panic attacks and anxiety and self-mutilation and self-hatred, that was a beast. I committed myself. I did 3 years. I did 3 committed years on my healing as if it was a job. And I went to every single thing. That's why I know all these things. That's like, I'm like, oh, Boulder, Colorado, the Life Festival, go there. Like things like that. I floated in the egg. I've had crystals over your parts, and the drum over your parts to heal the like I've done all of those things. If there's something I missed, bring me. Let's do it. I love it. And I went on my own journey so that I can get out of the repeated trauma that I was in. And then I want to keep leveling up. So my next phase was doing this show. And to do this show is in London, November 5th. Get a ticket. I love you. Is stamina on, like, I need to run up and down those chairs and those seats among the people pretty much for 2 hours. And I'm going to be extremely energetic. I'm like, I got to be able to do that. Like, so for one song, I'm tired, like one story and one song, I'm like, whoo, girl, I need to lay down. But so I can't do that. I have to be like, I got to be in fighting shape. And so I've been following amazing men who are doing it, who have their bodies on, their money on, their finances on, their their relationships, their businesses. I've been saying, like, hey, what are y'all doing? And how'd you do that? And I've learned a lot, including like managing time better. And wow, I've learned a lot. And one of my favorites is the one in Nashville. And watching what he's doing in his world, which with the Loot and Loot lounges, like Loot Lounge is going to be my show. My show is going to be presented essentially in a Loot lounge. You will be able to have Loot at my show. And Loot is it's LUTE.life. It is a drink that he developed that's non-alcoholic, non-toxic, and it also has many, many healing qualities. It got me off of all pharma. And so I will have that at my show. And so and I saw what he's doing, that he's helping so many people. He helps addicts. Like, oh my gosh, he's gotten so many people off of alcohol and benzos. And he's just legit. He's legit, And I went to him. He's a really good friend of mine. And I was like, how can I help you take some stuff off of your plate so that you can work more on Loot? And he's got this bike company, Music City e-bikes, and he's got a VRBO attached to it, like it's above it. And that's just a little moneymaker he was having to run it all. And so I was like, hey, why don't I just step in and I'll just take over that VRBO? And I'd like redesigned it and made it. I changed the name, and now it's booking every day. I'm like, yay. And so thank you. Oh, thank you, Rachel. Hello. I feel good. Never ask why a venue in London. Hold on a minute. So I will answer that. First, on Sean, I was telling you the story about what I do, is helping him on his Music City e-bikes and his VRBO, of really telling people about him. And I was like, can I just take that off your plate? And hopefully that can just make you money and you don't have to touch it. So it's like me and his cleaning lady. So that's like my kind of day job. It's like and I took that on to remove his stresses. I did what I'm doing for him, what I wish other people would do for me. Do you know what I'm saying? I can just tag you in her post too. Oh, she is beautiful. Congratulations on another accomplishment. Yay. What did I do? And why London, Jay, is because when things just fall into your lap, my documentary, Searching for Angela Shelton, if you haven't seen it, it premiered in Iceland, of all places. In Reykjavik, Iceland. What? Why? Because that's awesome. Because I was invited, and Bjorn Steinbeck saw me on Oprah, and he presented this idea. He's like, how can you open your movie in Iceland? I was like, sure. And the same thing happened in London. My friend Beaver Meadow, who is a sexual healing coach for disabilities, for people with disabilities. She's in London, and she's a good friend of mine. She's also in the Rockstar Reformers. She had connections to the Cockpit and also to some pretty heavy hitters in London. My editor, who did both of my movies, his brother is in London with the cameras. And so he's very much like kind of my producer, really. If I'm going to have a producer, that would be my editor. And he and I were talking about how to do the cameras, and then also since I have been to every state, I was like, where would you launch it? Like, I don't want to even touch New York City. Like, I don't need that. I don't want to do that yet. Or I don't even, I'm like, that's not what I'm going after. I'm going after a a catharsis, like a presentation that you can live on that is a catharsis. And also, I didn't want to just leave you, like, bring you in and tell you all these things and do a full reveal, and then you're just like walking along the street. I'm just gonna let you go. I was like, it needs to be handled a little bit more delicately. I think it should be a retreat. Like, you should like make it a destination. So you're making a commitment to go and have like a big, huge, like, life aha moment, and you'll be with me, and then you have the show, and then afterwards, like, you're not going to just be left to walk the streets of London as if you just like, hey, I just ripped all your identity off of you, and now you are naked as a jaybird and just your divine spark of spirit. What are you going to do? You're just going to wander around. Like, I'm like, come here, honey. You can have some food. You don't have to think. Like, you just get into the van. Don't think. It'll be all right. So that's why we did London, is because I have a producer there, and also it just presented itself, and it was so funny to launch pricked in the cockpit. It's just funny to me. And it's also a destination. I would have done it in Greece too. I've been to Greece. I love Greece. And someone was like, where's the destination? And London. My distributors are also in London, my movie distributors. If you didn't know that story, John, I'll tell you that little story that you love my movie, The Hammer. So I had so many sagas happen with that. Speaking of, but yeah, it's a retreat. Yes. So get in there, girl. So speaking of trauma, I went through so much trauma making that movie. Oh my God. Not making it was like a course in miracles. It was amazing. Beautiful, beautiful experience. It was afterwards, during the production side or during the distribution side. And the distributor that we ended up getting turned out it was a fraud. Like, it was just like that documentary, Fire Festival, with the guy who didn't even have the festival. It's all a lie. He was just stealing millions and millions of dollars. This distributor was like that. So I had to catch him. I was one of the 3 that figured it out, that you're like, oh, wait, this is not right. And then I was one of the very few who worked with the FBI to take the guy down. And then he went to prison, served his time in prison, is out doing the same thing again. Like, you're like, what? As I'm still in the phase of well, actually, I'm in payroll phase now. Thank God, 7 years in. God help me. In the nightmare of the Screen Actors Guild, which is such a load of caca poo poo dookie, if you've seen any of my videos about that. But with my actual movie, it was traumatizing. Like, dealing with Hollywood and that, and all the frauds, and was talk about like, I have Screen Actors Guild post-traumatic stress disorder, y'all. I'm not doing well. But y'all strike all you want. I have loads to say about that. Yeah. So can locals or visitors walk by and buy a ticket? I don't think so. I think I'm going to do it as invite only in London. And yes, you can buy a ticket, but you need to actually it's interactive. So it's expensive to actually be there because of the package I'm putting together, because I have to buy all the stuff. So that's why it's expensive. And honestly, unless you're going to be interactive and in it, I don't want you there. You can buy a ticket that is, and you could say, why didn't you just do it in Ohio? Why not? I mean, I like Skyline chili, but we're going to London. You want to go to London, Jay? He sent me a crown. Yay! I saw that. That was awesome. So yeah, that's what I'm saying. We're doing this workbook every day. This was page 7. We got to page 7. You could go save up, just fly to London, but you can definitely see it online. So if you buy the ticket, the $27, that's why I made it reasonable. Then that will be your live stream link to be able to see it. And also I'll do about probably an hour afterwards with everybody online, because I'm not going to also leave you like flailing about like, oh, so how was that? How was that total wild catharsis? You tired? I'm tired. Exactly. Oh, oh my God. So how is everybody? It's 10 o'clock. We did our first page, our first section of the workbook. How you doing? You doing okay? Did you get it? Do you want to get it? You know how when they just drink coffee in their mugs, Shelton just brings out a jug of milk. I did tell Beaver in London, I was like, I need a dairy farmer. Bring me the dairy farmer. Thank you for that. Thank you for what? What are you thanking me for? What was it now? I hope it was helpful. Ow. Why are you quiet? You didn't know you could play the drums with swords, did you? Oh, staying after for an hour. Yeah. You're welcome. So yeah, when you get the virtual ticket, you'll also get the download from my book that is I'm still finishing. That's the Survivor Manual book, which is my own personal like Survivor Manual. Here's the steps. You're welcome. It's Survivor Manual, how not to kill yourself and others. You're welcome. What was page 7? I think I missed it. Page 7, darling. Let's see. Page 7. What is trauma? What are some types of trauma? And in the coloring book, the pages are a teeny bit different, but it's it goes back to what are you ready to receive and what are you willing to let go of? Yeah. So yeah, that's the question. What are you ready to receive and what are you willing to let go of in regards to your trauma? So it's like, okay, if you're ready to receive next level relationships, you got to let go of your old anxious attaching. You know what I mean? Yeah. She's drinking water and strong coffees. You said you did coffees plural, Kitty. She's got strong coffees in there. The one in Nashville, Jesus, stop. Quit it. I don't have boogers. I do not. Stop it. Quit. He says coffee is anxious juice. Where's my mama? My mama is home in her house. Thank God I put her on a schedule to do things that are fun and to take care of her own stuff. Her house is a disaster that she doesn't do dishes because her mama beat her when she was a child and she would have to be left in the house to do the dishes while her mama went walking with the boys. What? Yeah. So mom has this aversion to dishes. So she left alone to her own devices because I'm like, I'm not going to do it for you. I'm like, I'm not, I can't do anybody's healing work for them. I can always say, here's mine. I have a space, like my time is valuable and I have spaces I can have you in, but you got to go take care of your own stuff. Well, she got the church. She got the church to help her. Church. She doesn't even go to church. I was like, I'm gonna have to go to. I will go to some services at that church because they cleaned my mom's house, and they got her into a groove. And now she's got to keep it up. So we all have our things, y'all. We all have our things. Ready to receive real relationships. Nice. Okay. So what are you willing to let go of? If you're ready to receive amazing, fun, awesome relationships, what are you willing to let go of? Anxious attaching, passive aggressiveness, your own history with trauma, maybe. Speak what you want to reality. I want money flowing through me easily so much I will give it away. Nice. I love money flowing through me and I get to give it away. I love that you give me so much money. Thank you, Timothy. I love it. I love the affection. Thank you. I love it. Oh, Lord. Oh, yeah. I'm ready to receive love and money. I'm letting go of my sword. Isn't that funny that I started this conversation at the beginning saying that my mom was a psychic on the Psychic Network and her most common questions were love and money. People are like, they want love and money. I'm like, I want meat and milk and one man. I'll take meat, milk, man. No, my mom is not psychic. She was a psychic on the Psychic Network. I have all the notes for that. I actually wrote a show called Crystal Balls about the whole thing. Very funny. And they train you. They train you. And she did tarot cards, and she did like goddess cards and animal speak. And you want to be Heather. Oh, Heather wants to be loved. So what are you going to have to get rid of? What are you going to have to let go of in order to be loved? There's a question for you. In order to be fully loved, Heather, what do you have to let go of? Ever hear what Bruce Lee said about water? Be like water. Be the ball. Be the ball. Be the octopus. Be the octopus. So if you're ready to receive being loved, if I just really, really want to be loved, then do you have to love more? Do you have to love yourself more? Do you have to get rid of deep-rooted hatred? You have to let go of long held on hatred in order to love bigger and wider? Maybe. Do you have to let go of, what do you have to let go of in order to feel super love? This thing. Yeah. I love everything. Yay. So there we go. I love everything. Now I want to be loved. Jeez, I'm guessing the hate has to get. Yeah, I know. Isn't that funny? You're going to have to you're going to have to let go of that to receive that. So, what am I ready to receive? If I ask this question, if I'm a kid, like I put my little kid hat on, I said, like, you can put your kid hat on, your inner child too, like your 8-year-old you. My 8-year-old me filled this out during my play camp, and I'm ready to receive the rock star stage. Yeah. That could be better. I'm ready to receive being a total badass rock star on stage. And I'm willing to let go of trying to fit in. Oops. Yeah. Have you been trying to fit in? Yeah. Trying to appease too many people. Trying to behave so you don't get banned. Well, how about no? Just go boldly forward. We attract, we manifest based on what we express and consistently feel. I feel in love. I'm going to say I'm receiving quantum healing. Yeah. And I let go of judgment of myself and others. Hallelujah. That's today, right now. Shannon said it. She's receiving quantum healing and letting go of judgment of myself and others. Done. I just got goosies all over my body. Look, goosies for you, Shannon. I just got it all down my body. I'm receiving quantum healing and I'm letting go of judgment of myself and others. That's it. That's big. That's more goosey bumps. Take it. Take what she said and say it out loud. I'm receiving quantum healing right now, right here. Just whatever I did that at the Grassroots Festival. This woman, this cutie pie, was dancing with me. Like, I mean, it is an epileptic seizure. So, stay close, safe distance. And she said to me, she goes, "Oh, you're so amazing. I'm so glad I met you. I just wish upon you. Just everybody sees you and they just have a big smile on their face. Boop, that's it." And I was like, "Oh, awesome. Yay. Well, I accept that. Thank you." And I was like, "And for you, I give you every single negative thought pattern that you're saying to yourself because you're repeating what somebody else said or did to you that was terrible. It's gone right now, gone. Woo! Every single negative, it's gone right now, gone out of your body." And she looked different. I'm not even telling you. She had this look on her face, like, "How did you know I did that?" I was like, "Well," and so I was like, "It's gone. It's gone right now." And so she had this look about her, like, "Oh." And you look up quantum healing is like you just had it. Like you said something and it just healed something in you. You felt something. You did a meditation. You had like There's visuals you can watch. There's sound vibrations in tandem with some meditation work, things that are said, like aha moments. You can have one aha moment and it clears up a freaking lifetime of BS. Honestly, that's quantum healing. And you can have it. You can do it. You can choose, or you can sit in judgment of it and be like, does that work? I don't know. Does that work? Is there such a thing? I don't know. I'm gonna intellectually try to figure this out. Blah, blah. If you are the intellectual thinker that you're gonna have to dissect everything, a lot of times intellectual thinkers as survivors will process through their brain too much. Like they'll be trying to figure out healing instead of feeling healing. Does that make sense? So it's like, stop trying to figure it out. Just feel it. And you feel all over your body that those negative thought patterns that you've been saying and repeating, and the actions, because what we do is we repeat what the abuser did to us. That's self-abuse and self-hatred. I mean, that's the addictions. That's everything. It's all you're doing is doing to yourself what they did to you on repeat. And so when you can just conceptually realize, wait, stop doing to yourself what the abuser or the perps or whoever it was did to you or said to you, did or said. Stop doing that to yourself. Done. That's it. Check, please. That's it. That's all you needed to hear. That's it. That's it. That's it. And that includes negative thought patterns. That includes the not eating, because many of us were starved, right? You stop diminishing your worth because somebody else diminished your worth, right? So that's all it is. You're doing to yourself what somebody else did to you, right? It's really so simple. It's really so simple, and we make it complicated. One new action will change how you feel. It's so true. I don't know. I just want those numbers. It's so I'm speaking of that with the numbers. My mom, like I said, had a job at the Psychic Network, and I had her keep all of the phone calls. I wanted to know who they were, where they were calling from, how old they were, And my personal favorite was a guy in Ohio. He was 60 something and calling from Ohio because he had just gotten his Psychic Network bill, and it was over $900. And he wanted to know the lotto numbers for today because he needed to win the lotto to pay his Psychic Network bill. I'm like, wow, that's the layers of that are just bright. And I love all the sunflowers. Hey, thank you. Isn't that funny? That's just like, I want some healing. I got my bill and I need to pay all this stuff and I need that money. So let me spend $9.99 a minute talking to a psychic. It's not really a psychic on the Psychic Network about the lotto numbers. I'm like, oh my God, it's so funny. Hey girl, hey. Hey girl, hey. That's another thing, by the way. If you haven't heard my Sword of Trauma song, I actually wrote a song about this. It's a spoken word piece that I will also be sharing. It's one of the many layers. It's 12 minutes and it's called the Sword of Trauma Epic Song. It's pretty epic. And it takes you through this as a song. And it's on YouTube. And I'm also going to put that in my email list. And like, I'm honestly, like, I've been on the road so many times, so long. And then I stopped going on the road because I had a baby and I committed to that life and to being there full time for her. And then I started making movies again. So I'm circling back doing the Sword of Trauma work, like updating it because it's been a while. And also it's very much part of my show. And it's like, it works. This concept works for people. And this workbook really does work. And I'm not even joking. So for those of you who are new, this is on my site, this one and this one. And there's a boy one too. If whatever, wherever you're resonating. You can have the coloring book is non-gender specific. And this is on my site. You can get it. You can getting the actual downloaded one is better in my opinion. I'll update the links as I do it. I mean, my God, it is a lot. I do a lot. I am a lot. I am a lot. I know. And I'm organizing all of my own stuff and my focus to live the life I truly want to do. And you made me think of it like Kitty, because in my song, there's a couple times that I go, hey, and there's also my TikTok. Every once in a while, I'll film hay in the field. And I love going on road trips and I just pass the hay and it's like, hey. So this, and thank you. Yes, I'm smitten. You are so effing authentic. Oh, thank you. I'm doing this for you and me, like, because as we level up, we do actually change the world. We do. And so this is on my site. I'm going to do it every day for August, every day. You're welcome. I love it. And the reason is because as we all get better, healing is an act of revolution. And we really do need you. And there are more of us than there are of them. And if you listen to that song, I don't know how to share it on TikTok. I probably have to play it and then do a little dance or something to it. As we change, it ripples out and it's a frequency that others feel 140 million %. And so in the song, just to give you an idea, I call out perps at the end because it's like, we know who they are. It's not like I mean, there are really, really horrible things in the world. Then they're organized. And that's why I started Rockstar Reformers, because I said, we need to be organized. Like, so the survivors need to be organized. The warriors need to be organized against the perps. Because the problem with perps perpetually problem with perps publicly is that they just make more money. They literally work together and they make more money and they use that money in order to gain more victims that they control so that they can promote their own perpetrator. I mean, that is what's happening. And there's so many ways that they poison society. It's another P. The perps poisoning perpetually publicly. Yes. Right in front of our face. And many times you're totally poisoned and don't even realize it. And when you do dissect it, it's like my science fair project when I was 12. I know I'm a broken record, but I love you too. Mwah. But when you look at the systems that are poisoned and you actually do like a system analysis, not a conspiracy theory. This is just system analysis. You will run into perpetrator networks. It's just the way it is. You're going to run into organized perpetrators working together to make more money and have more victims and keep us poisoned and dumb so that we don't do anything. Well, I have a theory and I think I'm right. There are more of us than there are of them. That's not even a theory. That's just facts. Because a perpetrator has many, many victims. Problem is those victims stay victims. And then they become perps. Or they become like victim addicts and they're like perpetually spinning in the victim wheel. And many times a victim addict can be more dangerous than the perpetrator. Just FYI. That's some scary stuff when you're dealing with a victim addict. And that they don't want to get better. You can give them healing and you can present them healing and happiness for the rest of their life on a silver platter. And they are going to say, I want it. I want pain and suffering on a payment plan. That's what I want. Like there are people like that. And I have seen, and I believe, because I know people and I've been on the grounds working and seeing this firsthand. There's more of us than there are of them. And the victim addicts are less than you think. There's actually more survivors. It's just that you're floating alone, thinking that like you're the only one, that you're the only one dealing with this. And I'm like, as we level up and are mirrors for each other and stop freaking judging each other, like know that like everything's coming from your weirdo trauma. You know what I mean? And it's like whatever you went through, because we've all got something. You know what I mean? Anybody in love? Okay, try it. Okay. And whoever you love and your mate, what'd they go through? I mean, there's a reason that you're in their life. Like I can't tell you how many men I've known who had horrible mothers, So it's like, okay, well, I've come into your life to apparently help you heal that, and vice versa. And it's like, wait, stranger danger needs to stop. We need to teach kids. The more likely, oh, it's somebody that you are. Yeah, that's like safe side super chick. Don't knows, kind of knows. Like attracts like is really is. It is going to be someone that they know. And yeah, it's true. It's true. So Rachel, speaking of that, I did follow up with my commitment to you. I have on my app an educational curriculum that's all the stuff. My book, movie, workbook. I'm going to put these so I take you through each page, like so that there's a guided, long-winded video. And I did it. It's up there. It's not launched yet. I just have I'm going to put these videos on there, but I'll launch it today and send you the link. And I'll put it on my linked tree for the app. And the reason I'm in the app is because we don't know what I'm going to end up saying to get myself banned or suspended or whatever. And I mean, for those of you who've seen my other TikTok that was, that went kind of viral. That was exciting, about how I got fired from Notre Dame. Oh God. So you just never know what's going to happen with this big mouth right here. So that's why I'm like the app. So I do have my own app. It is I Love Angela Shelton. I'm putting this on there. I have my movies on there. It's pretty great. It's free to see me live every day on there. It's $12, and then you get to see movies and speeches and all kinds of stuff. There's a lot to me. Oh shoot. I'm from a long line of broken and independent women. We all have ADHD. That's funny. I'm going to call BS on this whole ADHD thing. And also on you have a chemical imbalance in your brain. You need to be on meds. Isn't that interesting who they tell that to? I'm going to say, what chemical exactly? What are you talking about? Oh, you mean the chemical poison that you've been poisoning us with in our food? Is that the chemical imbalance? Is that the problem? Because you've been poisoning people, and so then you put them on meds. This is my science fair project when I was 12, people. Yeah. I'm with you on that, Angela. Yeah, I'll do the Cliff Notes version. Picture me at 12. Here I am, 12. I was a little Wednesday Addams. I'm repeating myself. I don't care. And this is my science fair project. I showed that the things that are in our food, if you dissect who put it there, hello, the things that are in our food that don't need to be there. Mainly the colors are terrible. The colors are terrible. Blue, yellow, red. Horrible. Don't inject them at all. Don't put them in your body. And all the things you can't pronounce that don't need to be there. It's not actually doing anything. It's a lie. It's a damn lie. They make you sick. And I showed all of the illnesses that you get from injecting this stuff into your body. And how when you get sick, you're going to go to the doctor, and then you're going to be put on a whole series of medications, sometimes for the rest of your life. It's going to start with one pill. It's going to go up to like 24. And by the time you die, you're going to have all the bottles around you that you need to take, because this one counteracts this one, and this one counteracts this one. All of them are because you were given poison. The same people who are giving you the meds are the same people who poison your food. I mean, do you need to look any further? Like, let it just read the ingredients. Don't put it into your mouth. Don't put the other stuff into your brain and your eyeballs. Because what they do is just like perp networks. And when you deep dive the system of that, when you deep dive pharma and stuff like that, and you start really deep diving these people, those are your buyers. Those are the buyers on the dirty, horrible stuff. See the movie Sound of Freedom. Okay. It's not a joke. Okay. And so when they poisoned you in your food, then they have tons of money, by the way. Then they're going to poison your media to tell you the food is great, to tell the doctors that, oh no, it's not what they're eating. It's definitely not what they're eating. Like, go listen to the one in Nashville too. He's very, very researched on this. It's like he's doing my science fair project like now, but I did it when I was 12. And I was telling people this when I was 12 years old, and I'm 50. It's facts. It's so true. And it's like, the thing is, it's a hard pill to swallow. Ha ha ha. Because you're going to take 24 of them. But it's a hard pill to swallow to think really truly that is that evil and that manipulative and that just downright actually disgusting. Yes. Yes, it is. Yeah. But there's a way around it, just like there's a way around us as we elevate and expand and like come into a new consciousness. And I have to go really, really soon because my kid has violin lessons. As we elevate and expand, we get out of that. We get out of the stores, get out of the box. Like the way around this nightmare of like what they're poisoning us with, like the one who gives you the cure is also who gave you the illness. Like, so if when you get out of that, you are in a different paradigm. We're outside the box. We're walking around, we're in, I don't even want to say matrix. We're like outside the matrix. We're like, hey, there's an escape route over here. There's actually some good food over here. There's some good brain food over here. And we can level up and expand and be awesome humans and help each other. I mean, hi, that's what I'm doing. What are you doing? And the food does it first. Yeah. So you get them sick from when they're little kids. Like this is the way it works. And speaking of little kids, mine has violin lessons that I must get to. Oh, I think you're awesome. So, hey, I hope you had fun. Bye. I'm going to close down my YouTube.